During the early morning hours, I had some fallout in which my original Samantha village within the Ludersdorf parish was raised by a member of House 15, seemingly immediately after I went to try and trade 1,000 wood to the parish as an intended sign of goodwill. By that point, some monks were sent in to influence the election, and I was no longer the steward of the Ludendorff parish. It resulted in feelings of paranoia regarding possible attacks. My other villages, but ultimately I was able to make a new Samantha village. It's now at Swishwig Parish. Now, this is pure leftovers. Leftovers from me and Mom went to that new Mexican place at around 5 p.m. or so. I'm not 100% sure on the exact time. These are leftovers from that pizza I got at BTB. It seemed to me that the country sweet sauce went bad, so I threw it out. It smelled kind of suspicious to me. I kind of wanted to become steward, not only so I could directly benefit that particular parish, trying to help make the parish capital better, but also the parish castle better, because I noticed that the castle for that parish wasn't exactly complete. Maybe it was in the process of being built, but I didn't recall any ongoing construction on it. I was hoping to make it so that Parish Town would enable access to tunnels for my castle there. Plus, it would also be something to try and contribute for my house and my league. I spoke to the league leader about it. Kind of asking if becoming steward is an aggressive action. I didn't think so. I just noticed that I had, the other day, some spare votes, enough to make me steward. Though I didn't know it would be instant. Either way, I'm doing now. I attempted to defend that castle. I couldn't really do much of anything. None of the guardhouses had been built yet, since in castle construction the game tends to focus on the great towers first, since they take a significant amount of time before doing anything else. So I could only really plop down 20 archers, which wasn't really much of anything. I tried to play a call to arms card that temporarily doubled the keep firing rate, but it wasn't enough. On one hand, though, it's given me some valuable insights on what you should do should it ever be necessary for you to attack a strong castle within stronghold kingdoms. Include captains and plenty of catapults, it would seem. Thing is, historically, I haven't really been able to access catapults at all. Most likely I just haven't researched the technology yet. I'm currently researching the third last level in the marriage research technology, so to be better able to use faith points to give myself popularity boosts. I'm currently at 13 out of 20 bandit camps destroyed for the 5th Law and Order quest. In the afternoon, I dealt with feelings of confusion because I initially planned on having the Starphone police officer prop character be edited in through Camtasia because I was planning on having Dan Hammond be right behind him, but and then I decided not to go through with that plan and to just edit in the prop character within the studio itself and just imply that Dan Hammond walked in. It seems realistic that the officer would first address them in some way, since they're victims in a way, indirect victims. Plus, having Dan Hammond be visible right off the bat would ruin some dialogue that I have in mind, but haven't yet implemented at the moment. It's taken hours involving me repeatedly making small edits and a time to the same 1-minute video clip and download it over and over again, and typically the download times time it would take for the download to be ready would be less than a minute. But there seems to be some kind of glitch in which within Vyond Studio where the save button doesn't change into save when you make edits within the raw video files. The video maker. This incident in Stronghold Kingdoms has made me realize that I've got to focus. I've got to postpone aggressive actions as long as possible. I know in a way that this game is impermanent because I know at some point it's going to be a slugfest for the last person standing. That's how the arrows progressed. I'm currently working to build up Niki Village, but I haven't yet even started the construction on the standard castle designed within that village. I had a slice of this earlier, right before Mom and I went to that new Mexican place. The decor was painstakingly handcrafted and imported from Mexico. You could tell there was a lot of creativity and artistic talent in it. The food was rich and had good uses of spices. And our waiter had a friendly and talkative disposition. There was also a wide variety of flavorful cocktails. I'm definitely going to want to go to that place with my mom again at some point. Today I wanted to help and clean up the basement because I know Mom wanted to clean up the basement today, but she got woke up by ongoing construction near our place and couldn't really fall back asleep after that. And she was woken up around 3 in the morning, she told me later. The place didn't seem to me to have any desserts, but they don't really need them. The pina colada me and Mom got at the beginning were delicious. And by the time we got back from that Mexican place, Mom didn't really want me to whack the Wegmans to return some bottles today because not only did I have 2 alcoholic drinks that may have been more than one standard drink, but I generally assume that every drink you get at a place that serves alcohol, and it's one of their alcoholic drinks, it's one standard drink. That's generally what I assume because I have no reason in my mind to assume otherwise, but obviously no guarantee. I now know that if an incoming attack says that it's from enemy siege camp or wolf's castle or snake's castle or pig's castle or rat's castle, that it's not by a player. These AI attacks, generally aren't very harmful at all. Actually, more often than not, because of my research into diplomacy, it's just basically free honor, which I'm going to need if I want to buy more villages. I'm at around 829,000 gold. Cost me over 100,000 gold pieces to relocate Samantha Village. Gonna take me some time to build it back up, but hey, I don't think there was much within Samantha Village, the original anyway, so nothing too harmful, but now I've got no presence in Ludendorff Parish and don't plan on doing so for quite a while in order to keep the peace. I'm actually glad this involved a member of House 15 rather than any other house, because seems to me there's some conflict between House 15 and House 7. That's the impression I get at times. It didn't seem like I made any enemies. From that Stronghold Kingdoms incident. Yeah, we couldn't really find my learner's permit to drive. So Mom had me bring my passport to prove I was old enough to consume alcohol. And luckily it worked just fine. I didn't consider making myself steward of a parish. Didn't consider it an aggressive action because it wasn't scouting or attacking anything. In the afternoon, I had fears that all my villages would be attacked and razed. but I've still got all 11 of my currently 11 villages. And I haven't been kicked out of the Fendant League. Or out of House 7. And I was thinking if I got kicked out of House 7, excuse me, then I'll try and join House 19. My liege lord for most of my villages, or at least a majority of them, is in that house, and is a pretty powerful player. I believe in terms of power, House 19 is not too far from House 15, who's currently the top house on the world I'm on. And I didn't realize that the previous and now current Stewart was also queen of Demon or Mecklenburg. And nor did I realize that House 15 was the most powerful house. The league I'm currently in primarily speaks German, so I have to translate their messages into English, and I translate what I want to say to German. I know that using online translators aren't perfect, but they generally don't need to be perfect. I'm pretty sure I spelled Stewart correctly, but for some reason that word wasn't translated into German automatically. So I think I accidentally caused some confusion for the league leader. Or at least for a league officer. I made an apology explaining that I'm a Nuka player, at least compared to some of the players that must be much more experienced, considering Stronghold Kingdoms has been around since 2012. Before learning it was released in 2012, I thought it was more of an early 2000s game. It honestly looks that old to me. You know what? With all this text and whatnot. As for Stronghold Kingdoms itself, I have everything muted because I generally run that game in the background and don't want its music or sounds playing while I'm trying to listen to videos on YouTube.